In July 2019, federal agents arrested a wealthy financier in New York. At first glance, it looked like just another high-profile case. But within days, investigators began uncovering a network of power, influence, and alleged exploitation that stretched far beyond one man. This wasn't just about money, it was about connections. And for years, those connections seemed to protect him. Epstein wasn't unknown to law enforcement. More than a decade earlier, he had already faced serious allegations in Florida. Multiple young victims had come forward. The investigation was massive. And yet, in 2008, he walked away with a controversial plea deal, a deal that many critics later called shockingly lenient. In 2008, Epstein reached a plea agreement in Florida. Instead of facing federal charges, he pleaded guilty to state-level offenses. He served just 13 months. But even that sentence came with unusual privileges. He was allowed to leave jail during the day for work release. For many observers, it didn't look like justice. It looked like protection. And the question started spreading. Who was protecting him, and why? After serving his sentence, Epstein returned to his life of wealth and influence. He hosted parties. He traveled on private jets. He maintained relationships with politicians, business leaders, and public figures. It was almost as if nothing had happened. But behind closed doors, new victims were speaking out. And this time, federal prosecutors in New York were listening. On July 6, 2019, Epstein's private jet landed in New Jersey. Federal agents were waiting. Within hours, he was taken into custody. This time, the charges were federal. Prosecutors accused him of running a sex trafficking operation involving underage girls. The case was no longer local, it was national. And suddenly, the world was watching. As investigators searched his Manhattan mansion, they also focused on a private island in the Caribbean, Little St. James. Flight logs were reviewed, guest lists were examined. Rumors had circulated for years about what may have happened there. Now, prosecutors suggested the island may have been used to facilitate abuse. The secrecy only made the story darker. Then, in August 2019, something happened that changed everything. Epstein was found dead in his jail cell. Authorities ruled it a suicide, but almost immediately, questions exploded across the country. Security failures, broken cameras, missing footage. For many Americans, the story didn't end. It began. When Epstein died in jail, the whole country froze. People weren't just shocked, they were angry. This was the guy who was supposed to talk, the guy who knew names, the guy who had flight logs, phone numbers, connections. And just like that, he was gone. No trial, no full testimony, no cross-examinations, just questions. Lots of questions. The cameras didn't work, the guards fell asleep, paperwork wasn't filled out properly. And Americans looked at all of that and said, yeah, that doesn't feel right. Was it incompetence? Was it corruption? Or was it something bigger? Officially, investigators ruled it a suicide. Unofficially, half the country didn't buy it. Prosecutors alleged that Epstein ran a sex trafficking operation involving minors. According to federal indictments, underage girls were recruited, paid, and transported to various properties, including his private island. Some accusers claimed they were flown on private jets. They described being introduced to powerful older men. They alleged manipulation, pressure, and a system designed to keep them quiet. Court documents used the term sex trafficking of minors. That's not internet talk. That's federal language. Now here's where it gets complicated. Online, the story went way further. Some people claimed there were secret rituals. Others claimed blood-related activities. Even darker theories started spreading across forums and social media. But as of today, There is no verified court ruling, no official investigative report confirming ritualistic or blood-related crimes on the island. Those claims remain unproven. The documented allegations focus on trafficking and sexual exploitation of minors. Everything beyond that enters speculation territory.
If Epstein built the network, prosecutors say Maxwell helped run it. Federal authorities allege that she played a key role in recruiting underage girls. According to court testimony, some accusers claimed Maxwell gained their trust first. She allegedly normalized inappropriate behavior, introduced them to Epstein, and helped create an environment where exploitation could happen. In 2021, Maxwell was convicted in federal court on charges related to sex trafficking of minors. Unlike Epstein, she went through a full trial. Jurors heard testimony from multiple women. They reviewed documents, flight logs, and financial records, and they found her guilty. She was later sentenced to 20 years in prison. That conviction is official. That part is not speculation. Epstein died before facing a jury. Maxwell didn't. But even after her conviction, people kept asking, was that the whole story, or just the part that made it to court? After Maxwell's conviction, attention shifted to the bigger picture. Court documents, flight logs, and public records showed that Epstein moved in elite circles for years. He attended high-profile events. He met with politicians. He spent time with billionaires, academics, and royalty. Some names appeared in flight records. Some appeared in social photos. Some appeared in contact books. Being in those records does not equal criminal involvement, but it does show access. Epstein had access. That access protected him for years. Back in 2008, he secured a controversial plea deal in Florida. That agreement allowed him to avoid federal prosecution at the time. Many legal experts later called it unusually lenient. That deal became a turning point. It showed how wealth and influence can shape outcomes. When he was arrested again in 2019, it felt like accountability was finally coming. Then he died. No full trial, no complete exposure of every connection. But the federal government did continue investigating associates, and Maxwell's conviction proved the case was not imaginary. It was real, documented, prosecuted. Jeffrey Epstein was being held at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan, one of the most high-profile inmates in the country. After a reported prior suicide watch incident, he was supposed to be monitored. Standard procedure in high-risk cases includes regular guard checks and functioning surveillance. But on the night he died in August 2019, multiple failures were reported. According to official investigations, 2 correctional officers did not complete required 30-minute checks. They later admitted to falsifying records. And surveillance cameras covering the tier where Epstein was housed were not functioning properly. Some footage was unusable. Other recordings were reportedly missing or corrupted. The Department of Justice's Inspector General later confirmed there were serious staffing shortages, negligence, and protocol failures inside the facility. The official ruling by the New York Medical Examiner classified the death as suicide by hanging. However, the combination of broken cameras, sleeping guards, incomplete paperwork, and the fact that Epstein was awaiting federal trial created massive public distrust. Not because of internet rumors, but because documented institutional failures occurred at the exact moment the most watched inmate in America died. That timing alone fueled suspicion nationwide.